shame-free life.
Hey, shalom and blessings to your family. Hope you're doing well. This is Ronald Zion. Listen, I just want to chop it up with you quickly before I jump into the gym. Right now we're on the bridge of crossing over from 2022 to 2023. And the reality is that there are a lot of people that are not on the bridge getting ready to cross over with us. Now, it's not 2023 yet, but we're getting ready to cross over into a new dispensation, a new age, a new time. We're getting ready to shift into a new place, a new space. And I truly believe that you can't have a beginning without having an ending. You can't start unless you finish something. And you can't have a wedding without having a funeral. Which brings us to the most important and the most necessary funeral that you can have in your life, that we can have, is to finally have a thorough funeral and burial to self-sabotage. Oftentimes people will say, you know what, I deserve the best in life. Out of all the hell that I've gone through, out of all the things that I've experienced, I deserve a new start. I deserve a fresh beginning. I'm ready. I'm going for mine. And that sounds good. It looks good on paper. It sounds good to the ear. But oftentimes there's so many people in their heart of hearts, they struggle with that reality. They struggle with deserving the best, going after the best, ending what needs to end in order to begin to have a fresh start in their life. They struggle with that. And so the choices and decision making is rooted in something that's called self-sabotage, sabotaging your own happiness, sabotaging your own true new beginning, sabotaging how you truly should see yourself through the lenses of the Most High as it relates to trauma, loss, as it relates to rejection, other type of issues that have happened that if we're not careful, it will redefine us. Instead of us defining ourselves despite what have happened to us, and by not believing it, by not truly seeing it, by not going after it. The choices and decisions that we make are not rooted in the new beginning. It's rooted in self-sabotage by what we've gone through. And oftentimes we're guilty of self-sabotaging and not even realize it. Not even realizing that we are sabotaging our own happiness. We're sabotaging our own joy. We're sabotaging our own new beginning because we're stuck in a time warp of our past, of the trauma and the brokenness and the things that have happened, the adversities that have happened. And it may have been season after season. I'm waiting for something to change, but it doesn't change at that time. And so it's easy to take on a victimized mindset and begin to now self-sabotage yourself and your purpose, because in your heart of hearts, you really struggle with believing that you will ever have a new beginning. Self-sabotaging. I want to encourage you that if you are in fact having this tug of war, that you move into position to understand your purpose, to understand your value. And if you have to connect with individuals that are in the field of trauma recovery, life coaches, therapists, by all means, you owe it to yourself. That will be the greatest investment that you can ever make, because the greatest funeral that you can ever conduct or facilitate will be burying the thing that has been successful in trying to bury your purpose, and that is self-sabotage. Self-sabotage deserves a funeral. It deserves you to wear your Sunday's best, your black suit, your black dress, and come to the graveside to bury self-sabotage. And you deserve it. So if this has been a blessing to you, by all means, like the content, share the content with someone else, and subscribe to the Shame Free Life channel. Because if we talk about that your life begins when you say so, it's got to be more than just a mantra or an affirmation. It's got to be much more than just something that we say and I feel good in the moment. We've got to move beyond the moment to a movement. And a movement in understanding that your life is valuable and that you do deserve the best. And you may not be responsible for the injuries that happen in your life, but you are responsible for your own healing. And it's a movement of removing the layers of self-betrayal, betraying yourself by not giving yourself the permission that you rightfully deserve to become a much better version of your life, despite what has happened. And that oftentimes the decisions that we've made in our lives, the alliances that we have forged, the friendships that we have forged, oftentimes came from a place of brokenness, a place of trauma, a place of self-sabotage. So if you really think about it, some of the decisions that people make, they don't need enemies. They have become their own greatest enemy in sabotaging their own purpose, in their own destiny. So as we cross over into 2023, let's not make this a ritual reality. Let's not make this some type of traditional process that we go through year after year, but to be very intentional about reflecting over our lives. All of the things that you have endured, the good, bad, and the ugly. Looking at choices and decisions that we made that perhaps, just perhaps, have aided your enemy of self-sabotage, that kept you on the tarp instead of you taking off on your airline of purpose and getting to your destination, and kept you on a tarp because of excess baggages that you carried on when there's a 2-limit baggage policy. We all have bags, regardless of who you are. We all have issues. We all have struggles. But I'm talking about those ancient struggles that's connected to self-sabotage, that's connected to childhood, young adult years type of trauma, that we can connect our choices and decisions that we made in our lives that kept us from enjoying our lives, that kept us from identity of discovering or rediscovering who we truly are. So let's remove those shrouds and layers of self-betrayal and give yourself permission to finally live, because you deserve that. And let's have a funeral. Before you can have a wedding, before your new beginning, a wedding marks or should mark the sacredness of a new beginning, of a fresh start. Well, before you put on that white dress, before you put on that tuxedo or your suit for a new beginning, let's have a funeral. Let's go ahead and put self-sabotage in its coffin and finally bury it. Because your life, it does begin when you say so and when you put the dirt finally on self-sabotage so you can enjoy your new wedding-like beginning. Until next time, peace and blessings. Love you to life.
Yeah, shame-free life, shame-free life, shame-free life. Yeah. Shame-free life, shame-free life, shame-free life, shame-free life.